Okay, so where we left off last video, we had a bit of a catch. It was actually a pretty big catch. I had been working on that for a little while and decided that I needed to take a break because the whole thing almost went into the scrap wood, pile. So took a break, came back the next day, and it's being wet wood, even though we're here in Arizona and it is currently 110 degrees outside. I'm in my shop / garage. I've got my little air conditioner unit going. It's finally kicking on some good, cool air. I got my fan blowing it back at me and any dust off that way. Trying to keep the garage. Normally I have the garage door wide open and ready to go. But I'm gonna try to do it with the garage closed. So I brought in some extra light to give me some light. And while I rested and came back, I don't know if you could see that, but several cracks formed in the piece. So I filled it with some black CA glue, some medium thick black CA glue, and let that cure up while I went to work today. And yeah, so thank you for watching the first video. I appreciate it. I know I've only got 2 videos up. I'm just starting this thing out. It was kind of more of a my family was like, so what are you doing? I see all these pictures on Instagram and Facebook. What are you actually doing? So I was like, well, let me take some videos and see what happens. Went to Maker Central and saw a bunch of people that I loved watching their wood turning, and this is just me kind of like, well, let me see if I can give back to the community that helped me out so much. So I am by far not a professional turner. These techniques are what work for me. They are not necessarily what you should do, probably shouldn't do. So I didn't say that in the last video, but I am going to say that now. With all that being said, I've come up with some different idea. This was supposed to be a lighthouse. It's still going to be a lighthouse as long as things work out. So let's get turning. so I've taken off the head, and what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole, about 1 inch deep, and then I'm going to make the house of the lighthouse and put it on separately. Got it pretty much the shape that I wanted. I still got to sand it and finish it up, but I'm going to drill the hole first, and then I'm going to then sand it, get this all ready to go, and then I'm going to work on the house part, and we'll kind of go from there. It's a little brighter in here. I went ahead and opened up the garage door because it was a little warm in here, and the sun's gone down, so it's actually a little cooler. Got some cross breeze coming in. It's still 108 degrees outside, but welcome to Arizona. All right, let's get started. This part's probably going to get fast forwarded through because it's sanding, and always wear your masks. And this is Ciso here in Arizona. I don't know if you can see under my lathe, but I've got logs and logs of Ciso helping hold this thing down because it's a Harbor Freight beauty. Yeah, so it's Ciso. It is wet, and I don't know what if any dangers are of it. Like mesquite, you have to wear a respirator, or else it's real bad for you. All the silicone and stuff inside that. But Ciso, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and wear my mask anyway because you should. Alright, well, my fan just took a crapola on me, and I had to fix it real quick, so that's working again. Let's get back to sanding. Alright, I just sanded it through to 220, and now I'm just going to clean it off, make sure there's no dust. Kind of give you a preview. See, that's why we use paper towels. It is quite warm. Kind of a cool yellowish, with some gray reds and stuff inside the hardwood. I love Ciso. Right now it's the most abundant of what I have because my aunt had a tree that needed to come down, and when it came down, she called me up. She's like, "Hey, you want some wood?" I said, "Yes, I'll take the whole thing." So I took the whole thing, and it's in my backyard. But back here, right there, that's a big old chunk of mesquite. I got mesquite right here, more mesquite under there, and then I've got some good other stuff, some dried pears, some cherry, little things that I picked up at the local timber store. I may have to fill these back in, but I'm going to move on like that's going to be okay, because I don't want to turn that off again. Alright, so now that that is done, I am time for some Yorkshire grit. I got this at Maker Central. They had a great deal going on. Met Glenn Sr. and his wife. It was absolutely great. And they were running a special for the show. It was cheaper for me to buy it there in British pounds then fly it back, can order it over here. So I've brought the tote back. I should have brought a couple. That or not, but it's all pretty. Probably gonna oil that up with some Danish oil, let that cure, let it sit. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Looks like a tower, doesn't it? The windows. Kind of cool. And this was the piece that I cut off. Excess piece. Like, hey, I can use that to make the house. So let's make the house. And hold up the signs. And hold up the signs. Alright, welcome back to my shop. It has been approximately 2 weeks since I posted the Lighthouse Part 1. A lot of things happened. One, my wife, son, and myself flew out to North Carolina to see my daughter Kyla graduate from high school and spent the weekend out in North Carolina, which is wonderful. If you know my Facebook, personal Facebook, you'll see the video. It's a tearjerker. I did a really good job on that. Made everybody cry. I'm not going to put it on YouTube because I use music that doesn't belong to me. Therefore, I, will copyright things. So, And then because there were some tornado warnings in Dallas, we couldn't fly home, so we rented a car and drove all the way back from North Carolina back to here, Santan Valley, Arizona, which took us about 48 hours to do. I never want to do that again. It was a great drive if we had time, but we were under a time constraint. We had to get back to work. I had to take a couple of days off, so the last week and a half, 2 weeks at work has just been horrible. Therefore, I haven't been able to get into the shop to finish the project. I do pest control. I'm a field supervisor for a pest control company out here in Arizona, and it's currently 110 degrees. Luckily, I was able to finish up fairly early today, and yeah, so I was able to get a little bit of shop time in. It's Friday. I already told the family that I will be in the shop this weekend, so I'll be knocking out at least one or two things. Brought back some North Carolina ash. One of my customers last week gave me 2 big logs of pecan, which is great because it's really hard to get pecan out here. Last weekend we went up to strawberry, which is up north. It was great. It was like the high got up to like 82 while the valley was in the hundreds, so that was beautiful. Brought back some juniper, some firewood, that's some juniper. Can't wait to get into that. That's already seasoned and dried, so be good to go there. So I got into the shop today and I was like, all right, let's do this. And I forgot to hit the record button. So, here it is. This is the finished product, the Lighthouse out of Assiso. This piece was actually cut off of this. I reused it, reshaped it, and drilled a 1-inch or a 1/2-inch hole into the tower part, and then put a 1/2-inch tenon on this, and just used my lathe and centered it up and pushed it in with some wood glue, and it came out quite nicely. It got that emerging lighthouse, really. There's a hole on the top. I'm going to put something up here. I'm still looking through what I've got, maybe a little crystal or stone or something, because I don't really want it to be a finial, but I just want something to kind of be like, bing, hey, it's a lighthouse. So I love how we got this branch coming off. Danish oil underneath, about 7 or 8 coats of OB shine juice. Thank you, Captain Eddie. Probably going to put a lacquer on the bottom to try to hopefully keep the bark on here. A few cracks developed after I was done. There's some down in here. I just filled those with some black CA glue, and that came out really cool. And then all these little knots kind of look like windows, didn't it? I thought it was kind of cool. Anyway, finished product. Still got to take the tenon off the bottom. I'll probably just do that off camera and shave that off somehow, sand it up, put my emblem on the bottom, and we'll be good to go. So that is the finished emerging lighthouse. 2-piece, now 1, but it came out really nice. I really like that. Kind of pushed the envelope of what I'm used to making. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching videos. Hold on. Okay, that was quick, wasn't it? So while I was in North Carolina, we went to a place called Elijah Mountain gem mining, and it was really quite cool. I decided that within the last couple of weeks that I'm going to start doing some mineral stone inlay into bowls, cups, whatnot, and I was able to become an official gem miner at Elijah Mountain. There's an unpaid plug. They were great, absolutely great people over there, very knowledgeable. My wife found in her bucket of mine dirt this geode that they cracked open for us. Isn't that pretty? And then I started talking to the guy, and I was like, I want to put inlay. And he's like, well, for a couple bucks, you get a whole bag of geode dust and whatnot. So in here, I'm going to crush these up and get all that nice sparkly. I don't know if you could. Yeah, there you go. All that sparkly crystal in there. Sift through some of the crust and get some of that out, and I'm going to use that. I just went to Natural Expressions here in Gilbert, Chandler area, and got some turquoise powder, nice fine powder. Got some moonstone, some actual turquoise chunks, and some citrine. So gonna start inlaying some stuff. Got some future projects coming up. I actually have a 4-day weekend for 4th of July, so guess what I'll be doing? I'll be in the shop. Hopefully, sorry if it's kind of loud. I got my air conditioner going in my garage right now, so I can stay somewhat cool. But yeah, so this is a little bit of what the Brits would call a waffle. Thank you, Nick Zametti. But yeah, so I just want to kind of let you guys know that there are future things coming up. I'm going to be making a sun disc. Finally got a really cheap Harbor Freight airbrush kit, and I got some $10. Came with the jars and everything. I had yet to even open it, so I'm going to be doing some airbrushing. I got some spirit stains that I want to try to do a disc about yay big, and it's going to kind of flare out like a sun disc, and that's for some friends of mine, and yeah, hopefully it'll turn out. It's the first time I've done anything as far as coloring, but we're going to give it a shot, and I'll take you along with me. So again, thanks for watching. I know this is more of an informational show and tell of the final product of the Lighthouse, but it came out really nice. I'll post some pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Please check me out. Instagram, TriKnotWoodworks. Facebook, TriKnotWoodworks. Etsy, TriKnotWoodworks. TKW is capitalized. I still haven't done anything with the Etsy. I got one thing up there. My wife is supposed to be helping me out with that, but we've been busy. So yeah, thank you so much, and keep turning.